Okay, there we go. Now we're live. Just got here. So, I was running a little bit late tonight. Uh, was at the store in town and kind of let time get a little bit away from me. So, I got back in just the nick of time. Let's see here. There we go. All right, mute that guy. All right, hey Anna Casper, how you doing, sweetheart? Kind of running late tonight. Was down in town. Had a few things to get. Holiday festivity stuff. All that groovy stuff. And waiting on coffee. Carol's getting that for me. But I did make it back in order to get online, like I said I would. 10 minutes late, but I'm here. So this week's topic is one of the principles, actually. And I just thought it would be kind of cool to talk about that and see, where we could go with it. Let's see that particular one right now. Anyhow, yes, it is a busy time. It is a busy time. Let's see here. I was pull up a web page here. That way I can see what I'm talking about. So I hope everybody's got all their stuff done that they need to get done. Only got a few days left. You got 5 days left. That's fine. We'll be fine. It's a 5 days. No problem. We've done more and less. So, and of course, there we are. It's there. So, it's like the eighth principle, and I'll carry the message to all that would seek it. And it's pretty cool. Actually, yeah, Saturday is going to be fun. Novus Invictus, you can do it either Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So any of those days is great. Or you could do them each day if you want. It's up to you. I don't know. That's a lot. I think you only need to do it once. But the more people we can get to do it, the better off. We're talking about the Novus Invictus process that's coming up this week. Every year at this time, we celebrate the Three Kings, and we also do a process for the Novus Invictus, which comes around once a year, and it's when the vibrations are most available to the masters, as Michael put it. And then he also, in the last visit, invited us to do the 50 gates. Whenever you want to start doing that's a perfect time. I've talked to several people about it. A lot of people. I've had a couple orders for the books on my website, which is great. And so those are going out. I think they went out today. It's very helpful. Anyhow, carrying the message, to anyone who'll seek it, just being available for people when they need help. And they'll start asking questions because you're a little different than most folks by now. You've raised your vibration up. You've got some pretty amazing things going on with you in your life. There's a lot of us out there that are. Some of us are doing something with it. Some of us are, just living life. It's not a have to, it's a get to. It's pretty cool. That's one of the things that I am attracted to about this. It's not really a have to. I had posted something earlier this week that I thought was pretty cool. I've actually had a conversation with several people about the DAWAuth, and I'm constantly getting um, uh, people requesting information about it. And one of the things that's come up is, um, there's a couple people out there telling each other that they'll be able to go into the DAWAuth without the forks because the angels are very forgiving and stuff. And it's like, it's all well and fine. Yeah, great. Take your time to do it. But, it really, when they say you need something to do something, it probably means you need that in order to do that. And Carol just brought me coffee. Thank you, Carol. Trusty coffee cup.
You're welcome.
The 50 gates be done in small groups. Sure, if you would like to share that intimate information with other people, go for it. I personally don't do it with other people. I think it's a very private, personal thing. So if, there's nothing in there saying you can't do it as a group, but we have had people do it as a group in the past and they don't continue to do it. So I'm not really sure, maybe, as if you're asking as far as everybody starts on the same day, he didn't really give us a day to start. You can actually do it a couple of times before the event. I would do it 50 days before the event this year as well. Not only going through it now, but going through it 50 days before the event. And I'll figure out the date on that. It's pretty simple. You just look at a calendar. And the 50th gate will be when you go through, you get into the formation. So you'll be doing a couple of gates when you get there at the event. If you choose to do it, that would be the time that I would suggest we do it as a group. But doing it as in small groups, sure, if you want to. I personally wouldn't do it that way. So Cindy is saying that she can't seem to connect to the internet. So I was going to make a smart alecky joke, but I'm going to spare you guys tonight on that one. Let your imagination run wild with you. So anyhow, I'm running late, like I said. Just trying to think of a way to keep myself accountable. That's the thing, is you make yourself accountable. The work is real simple and easy to do, and you get to do it, and just do it. You're totally accountable. You try to make yourself accountable, Anna. You're Janie on the spot sometimes there, lady, so trust yourself. I think you're going to do great. Just set it up to where, what I do when I do it is I have the book right next to where I'm going to get my coffee in the morning. So, hey, there you go. How you doing, Jordan? That's my little brother, Jordan Rupp, just showed up. He's really cool, man. I miss talking to him every bloody day. It was great. I got to live with him for a while. He lived with us for a while. We lived together for a while. It was great. He was just a dream come true. Very balancing person for me, and he is of the Church of Sardis. So anyhow, back to talking about the 50 gates and doing them in small groups. Like I said, I personally wouldn't participate at that level, but if you guys want to do it, of course, do what you want. It's very intimate, very personal, so I don't know. Yo, took her jab. Anyhow, South Park reference. Coffee. She made a really good cup of coffee. I'm going to have her do it more often. Yeah, that's rich and beautiful. Bold. Okay, good. You can see me. I could see you too. No, I could see your little icon thingy. Round icon thingy. Coming up on the 50 gates, whenever you guys, as far as a date now, go ahead and start, because if we're gonna I think Joe will say something about 50 days before the event, when to start, so that you can have that at that time. The herbs, I did not get to putting a page up, not because I couldn't do it. It's I hadn't had time to get that going. There's some fixes I would like to make to the information, which the herbs are in excellent condition, but some of the verbiage that we're using to describe things is different than what needed to be said. So we'll get that up post haste. Novus Invictus is coming up. You do not have to be gathered to do it. You don't need all the tools to do it. Anna was talking about in the first when we first signed in. She was talking about being excited for the Novus Invictus, and yeah, I'm excited for it too. We're going to be doing it. I think we're going to do it Christmas Eve at my brother's house because that's when we're all going to be there. And unless we could do, I'm going to talk to him, and if he's too busy or too crowded to do it there, which there's a lot of folks that are coming from all around at his place, I'll just do it the night before I go there. And it's a pretty easy, simple process. For some reason, I can't find my tabernacle, so I'll be doing mine without a tabernacle this year unless I find it in the next few days. I know I have one. And, oh, good. Cindy is saying that her husband Jim will be participating. That's an awesome thing. It's great when you can get your friends and your family and your spouses and loved ones involved in doing this. Bringing a unit together and having a exchange when you're doing these things can really build a bond in your relationships. You'll notice if you're actually going into the DAW op with the tuning fork, you'll notice that your life is starting to work. It's not falling apart. Things start getting really good. Brian has just chimed in, and he says he has a tabernacle, and we'll do it here. So we're doing it on Christmas Eve. As a matter of fact, we can FaceTime you or whatever if you guys want to do that too. Jim will be... No, that's fine. Cindy, we all take our time to participate. You know, there was a guy, like I was talking last time about someone who got involved in this work years and years earlier, and he hadn't done the any of this stuff, and he finally got gathered in the 2004 2005 range. I think it was later than that, actually. I think it wasn't until Virginia Beach that he started even showing up. So, oh, wonderful, he's choosing to do the baptism. Great. That'll work. As long as you don't drink his wine for him, honey, he'll be able to do his baptism. Get white, because it doesn't stain. And I do it sooner than I would do it later on account of the time between the sun and stuff like that. So it's, light less time right now. Anyhow. So, gatherings. I don't know if Caroline got to hers. This is the week that she would like to have done it. Haven't talked to her much. I know she's busy. She's got a family and stuff like that going on. In support of her, though, if anybody actually watches this video and knows Caroline, get in touch with her and see if she needs help getting a gathering going or colors, or if you're wanting it gathered or know somebody in the Stockton Bay Area, Sacramento Valley area, that'll work out too. Somebody else told me about a gathering happening. I just can't, it is completely slipped. Oh, Jeff Stearns out in Florida is talking about it, doing a 3-day gathering. They're just having an issue with finding a place to do it for 3 days for 7 people. He's doing the traditional one. And someone I was gathered with, Diana Nelson, she lives out there, and I'm sure she'll help out if they need it. She's been a trooper. She's been around as long as I have, if not longer with Joe. She's known Joe for probably 30 or 40 years. I've only known Joe for like 23. So anyhow, they used to work together, or they did Life Spring together, or Love, Life, and Light. That's it. Alexander Everett. So as long as probably 30 years. Does anybody have any questions about anything that's coming up? Like the Novus Invictus, and if you order, I think today would be the day to order if you're going to get anything mailed out by tomorrow from Joe. If you need tuning forks, he has some sets in stock. The tuning fork manufacturer that we go through shuts down for about 3 weeks every year. So they'll be back around the 20th of January, 15th or 20th of January. So unless you have a regularly stocked item like the Chakra set, or most of the sets we stock, but the individual forks we don't normally stock. He does have a surplus of the Da'af fork. He did get the short stem ones. The long stem ones are just too expensive to buy. I mean, as you're talking about 2 inches of steel and then want $30 more, forget it. Get the $65, $75 fork and you're fine. Jordan Rupp. Okay, Jordan Rupp is saying there has been some confusion regarding when we do the Novus Invicta process. The birth of light happens the day after the longest day of the year, of the solstice. Yes, but it starts then, okay? So on the 21st, the day after is the 22nd, and that's when the Novus Invictus starts. The sun moves to the south, and it stays there for 3 days, okay? Now, that's when you could do the Novus Invictus process, is during those 3 days of darkness, okay? So the 22nd, 23rd, or 24th, sometime after sunset, you have the things that you've gathered together to do your process, and then you start your process. If anything, just read through it. If you don't have any of the stuff, read through it, and read through it and get familiar with it before you do it so that you're not stumbling around. Print it out. I always print it. I got a copy of it. I've got a book full of the processes. I just turn to the page of the process, and that way I have them all the time, and it keeps a record. What does the 50 Gates teach you? Does it help you release past issues? This is a question from Cindy Parfit. What the 50 Gates is a process that all masters go through in order to reach enlightenment. Okay, it's an inward journey done with yourself for yourself. It's much like the baptism when it comes to who's doing it with you. It's about you. It's an inward journey so that you can become familiar with who you are and how you do things, how you show up in your spiritual life. And it gives you what Michael said was it helps you to have a relationship with God that you wouldn't have otherwise. When you have an inward journey like the 50 Gates, because you're going inside of yourself for 50 days, some people are going to be able to use the frequencies, some people don't have them, so if you have them, use them. If you don't, get them. If you can't, don't worry about it. Anyhow, Anna's saying she retyped the Novus Invictus, a little easier format to follow. If anyone would like it, PM me. So private message Anna, she spruced it up. It's probably because it got bundled up in the notepad that I stuffed it on. I sent it to her in a notepad. So anyhow, it was also in the newsletter, and it's also going to be on the front page of Joe's website, beatpeace.net. I don't have it on the Grand Gathering. I'm probably not going to put it there because you can go to beatpeace.net and get it. And there you go. As far as info goes, like I was bringing up earlier, I was talking about a visit that I had posted earlier on yesterday actually, from 2006, and it was February 7th, 2006. And it was some pretty cool information. Hi, Jack. How you doing? Sorry I missed your call last night, buddy. I should be available after this, but I'm going to eat dinner first. Anyhow, what Haniel was the angel that was working with Joe at the time, and this is one of the few, very only times I think Haniel has actually worked with Joe. Sometimes the angels will come to Joe at the gate that we're working on, at the position in the gate that we're working on. And in this particular year, you were working on the purple. I'll get to that in a second, Cindy. What is that, Jordan? Jordan's giving us a link. I don't know what that is. Anyhow, what was I talking about? The visit. Yeah. In this particular one, it was when we were getting a lot of mixed things going on, and we were having trouble getting started again. So read that visit if you have a chance. It talks about spiritual discipline, how one shows up in your world, so how that you move forward and whatnot. John Sams just showed up. Cindy Parfit was asking, is there a different Novus Invictus every year? No, not that I'm aware of, unless they give us something to add to it, or do it a specific way that they want it done. I don't know. No, it's been the same every time I've done it. So, hi, John Sams. Boy, we got a lot of folks in this room already. And I see Jeff Stearns made a comment somewhere. I don't see him in the room. He might be in here. Hi, Jeff, if you're in here. Your stuff's baking right now. It'll be done in the morning. I'll ship it then. So, ton of stuff going on this week. I've got clay being baked, cups being molded, that kind of stuff. I don't know what Jordan sent. Us4campaignarchive.com. I don't know what that is. Anyhow, I hope he didn't get hacked or something. It's the visit from 2012 with the Novus Invictus process at the bottom. There you go. Okay, cool. Great. I'll pull that up and we'll check it out. I didn't recognize the website, so I guess you have the stuff stored somewhere else. I'm hoping you have it somewhere else. That would be cool if there was in more than one spot and a variety of people would be able to have access to the information on a different website. There were other websites out there. We actually had a website called gatheredmasters.com. The name's still taken, but the website's gone. We had Teach Only Love. That was Joe's first one. We had another couple that I can't remember. Something to the Angels. Anyhow, there was only a couple, 3 or 4 sites, but they've come and gone because it's not easy to run a website in this for this stuff. It's there's no money in it. You can't, I pay for it out of my pocket. Like, as a matter of fact, I have to pay the fee this month for it, and I got to pay the whole. I think it's like $9 or a year or something like that at a time. Comes to like $98.88. Whoop-de-doo. So hopefully we'll sell enough stuff to make it. Don't care. I'll scrounge it up somewhere. Always do. I got a donation button too if you guys want to help out. It's at the front of angelicgate.com and on the video page of this stuff too. So y'all know it's there. Anybody got any questions? How about you, Jordan? You haven't been in here in a while. I talked to you the other day. I haven't seen you in a while. You're always busy. Carol just got in the room. She's saying hi to everybody. I can't really see a list of who's in there. All I see is my screen, and it says live, and it has 7 people. I'm sure you see the live 7 people. I don't know who's in here. I don't have it up on another way. Do I have a way of looking at it over here? Does it tell you who? It doesn't tell you who. Doesn't tell you who. No problem. All right. So I don't have a whole lot this week to talk about other than questions about the Novus Invictus process and the 50 Gates process, which is really, once you receive the 50 Gates packet, it is very self-explanatory. Jeff Stearns finally made it, he says. I guess we're having trouble getting in. My wife shows up. Cindy was expressing she was having trouble getting in. I am thinking if we're going to have a lot of trouble getting into this particular thing, we might be able to move it over to YouTube, where you can get into the chat room there. I looked at their chat room over there. It was really, really awesome. Oh, you were going to talk about the 8th principle. Well, I just used that as a subject line and subject matter. And it's, as a master, I carry the message to all that would seek it. So, for me, that particular one means that if somebody's going to look for something, and I'll carry it, and they're asking about the stuff, give it to them. If they're not looking or asking, don't be given. Because this is like the martial arts. It's like a treasure that you keep in your pocket. You only pull it out when you need it. So, anyhow, carry the message to those that would seek it. And don't deny anybody the healing and stuff, don't deny. I deny no one healing or teaching because my feelings for or about him or her. Just people have things. Cindy's asking about the 8th principle. Okay, so on angelicgate.com, you'll see a little venue on the left-hand side. There's a long list of pages. And it says Principles of a Master, or spiritual principles, and there's 13 principles that Michael gave us in early 2000s, 2002-ish, when the masters were quarreling amongst each other and asking for rules and regulations. And there was one guy there, he was deeming who does what with who, and all of a sudden they got angel visits too, and the angel visits didn't match up with what we were going with, so they gave us these principles. And it was just a kind of a growing pains kind of time back then. When you think you know what you're doing in this work, you need to stop and redo yourself, because there's nobody that knows what they're doing in this work, or we'd be done already. So Jeff Stearns has returned. Welcome back. Here, I'll just read the 12 principles to you guys, okay? So there is wisdom in each of the principles of a master. The 13 principles of a master are set along spiritual lines to assist the master in living a richer, fuller life. They are also set of actions that give the masters things to do in life. And they are about each person living his or her own life fully, rather than being about who others are trying to fix them. The beauty of this system is what you live your life by, these principles. Not only will your perceptions of reality be altered, reality itself will be altered around you. And this can also be expressed as a man thinketh, so shall he be. Okay, so Jack's trying to get on his computer because he can't hear me on his cell phone. And can everybody hear me okay? I'm trying not to yell, but I try and speak into the microphone's pretty sensitive here. So okay, to the principles. Okay, so the first principle: as a master, I accept God's love for me and know that I am in God's care. God loves you and God cares about you, and you're always wrapped in God's love and God's care. There's no time that we are separate from this, but our perceptions can be altered by our unworthiness. You think that you're unworthy? No, you're not. You're a child of God. You're perfect, whole, and complete, just the way you are. And you're all you need to be. Most important line. Okay. 2, as a master, I align myself with the spiritual principles set forth in the Book of Bricks. Okay, the Book of Bricks is your builder's manual, so to say. It will guide you when things get rough. If you're stuck in your head, or stuck in your stuff, stuck in your, you got your cloak of lameness on, or whatever's going on, take a trip through the Book of Bricks, and it'll help you out. And give yourself the gift that you were given so freely, right? Number 3, as a master, I honor and respect my gifts and the gifts of other masters. Now, honoring and respecting yourself is honor and respecting other people, okay? And this isn't to just point out every little thing. Oh, that's because they're they're this color, or that's because they're this color. That's not what this is for. That's more of a judgment and trying to rebuke or even make fun of. That's never worked in the past, and it's probably not going to work in the future, so we should all get off that conversation and praise them for the church or the gift that they have and that they have to offer. Acknowledge that they're as the Church of Philadelphia, and honor the gifts and traps that they, share with us. The gifts is what they're really sharing, and the traps is how they learn to share their gift. It's not a good or a bad thing, okay? So, number 4, as a master, I teach only love. Not like you need to hold anybody else's feet to the fire on this one. What does that look like to you? Do that rather than holding someone else responsible. Hold yourself responsible for these things, okay? Which leads me to number 5. As a master, I examine on a daily I am ever vigilant of my traps and not the traps of other masters. It ain't your damn business if they're in their ego or in their traps. Who cares? Love them. That's the way it goes. You know, people go through their stuff, and you need to be in support of them. Not if they're being, you know, obviously if they're running recklessly through your life, you need to adjust your position with them. But, you know, don't sit there and go, oh, they're in their traps or they're in their gifts, or, you know, you're going to be going through your gifts and your traps. I heard one master say, that's been around for a long time, well, I thought we were going to be living in our gifts by now. No, you're not. You're going to be going through your gifts and your traps. It's a process. It's like 50-50, you know, it's a circle. You get to learn these things. Number 6, as a master, I examine on a daily basis my participation with my gifts and my traps. Not yours, mine, okay? So if you're out there examining other people's participation, turn it inward a little bit. Hey, you found your way in. All right. Hey, Jack, we're reading the principles right now. We're on number 6, moving to number 7. Number 7, as a master, I will be watchful for my selfishness and my ego. Number 8, as a master, I carry the message to all that would seek it. And that was a subject here, you know. Keep yourself in check, and that way, you know, you're not being selfish with people and being egotistical. I know what the best thing to do, or come and listen to me. I know what I can, you know, or the angels are going to forgive us if we do it this way, or I know they gave it to us this way, but, you know, I think we can do better, or my guide said this. You know, whatever, dude. Be careful of your selfishness and your ego there, okay? So just go forward in life and watch your own clock. Let's see here. Number 8, got that one. Number 9, as a master, I deny no one healing or teaching because of my feelings for or about him or her. Okay, so, you know, a friend in need is a friend indeed, actually. And yeah, there's people that I don't care to be in the same room as, but I'll still help them if they need my help. I'm always there for other people, but that's just me. I've always been like that. I know people that won't even talk to me because I said something 10 years ago and they're hanging on to it for 10 years. Whatever. People do change anyhow. Don't deny people healing and this work. If they're getting exposed to this work, there's a reason for it. And it's a reason for you too, because they're in your field. Okay? Number 10. As a master, I receive fair compensation for the teaching, healing, and the work I create. Okay? So if you come to me for healing, and you come to me for readings, or you come to me for tuning forks, it's fair for me to charge you for those sorts of things. The videos is something I like to do out of the goodness of my heart, and a lot of these people are going to benefit because there'll be a little nugget of information they need in there, and that's my payment. Now, if you want to donate, of course, I put up the donation button. It's okay, and it's cool if you do, and it's cool if you don't. And being able to receive fair compensation for the work you do by your hand is fair. I was talking to a woman probably 15 years ago when this came out. She was saying, well, I'm a Reiki master and I do my Reiki for free, and how dare you charge for what you're doing? And I'm like, well, for one, these forks cost me hundreds of dollars. 2, the oils cost me lots of money too. I had to pay to go to these classes. I had to pay to use these things. You had to pay to learn your Reiki. And if, you know, she was a retired nurse and she's on, you know, she's set for life. I'm not set for life. So I charged at the time. So there was another group out there that used to work for free. It was the Sleeping Prophet. Anyhow, there was a group out there the sleeping prophet guy, I can't think of his name right now for some reason. I get little brain farts. They decided they wanted to do everything for free, everybody, or just by donation. Well, they went out of business inside of a year doing it that way, and they figured out real quick and in a hurry they got to charge to do what they're doing. Like Joe, he can't do the event for free. Everybody's saying, hey, you should be giving us this angel stuff for free. He does. He gives you the information for free. What you do with it is up to you. The event, no, it costs him money. He had to pull money out of his pocket to get the event moving. It wasn't happening with registrations. As a matter of fact, while I'm on the subject of registration, if you're watching this and you haven't registered during this time, right now on December 20th, there are about a dozen registrations at the $200 mark. There were 25, and there's about 12, maybe 13 left at the $200 mark. They're going back up to $225 after those are gone, and then they'll be progressively going up as we go closer to the event. All right. Receiving fair compensation. Now, number 11. As a master, I render a seventh to whoever I receive spiritual nourishment or did profit from the work of another. That's called tithing. You can do this however you choose to do it. It doesn't mean I tithe the Eden event. That's how I do my thing. I tithe the event. That's where I get my spiritual nourishment. Some people tithe other people, they're pastors, they're whatever. Some people tithe Joe, some people tithe other teachers, some people, it depends on how you choose to participate on that one. It's a very personal thing. Number 12, as a master, I set aside time to commune with God in prayer and meditation. We've been given a very good excuse to commune with God on a daily basis. We have been given the way to go into the Da'af, providing you have the tuning fork and the frequency to get in, and you've been let in by a gatekeeper. It's really a very beneficial thing for you because you create a better relationship with the omnipotency. The more you are seen, the more you get seen. Just like going in the Da'af. The more you go in there, the more you're seen, the more they recognize you, and the more they'll have for you to do. Okay? Number 13. As a master, I am forever striving to grow as a person and a useful servant of God. So, yeah. Interesting. Okay, and that's it. I thought there was another one, but that's 13. Kind of sounds like a 12-step program, doesn't it? Anyhow, in that book, Teaching the Masters, I showed you last week, this one right here, has the story about the 12 principles in there. You can also find that in the visits on angelicgate.com. And I did a lot of updates on angelicgate.com, so there's still the little asterisk thing I can't really get rid of. I've been trying to find them on every page. I've been trying to update the dates and things of that nature and trying to get everything back fixable, but I'm only doing so much because I don't know a whole lot about it. Doing a little website cleanup. It does need to become a little more interactive. So I'll be figuring out how to do that as soon as I come up with the funds to do that. So I got an idea in my head as to what I want to see. A little more interactive, a little more spaced out. Cindy Parfit, I lost you again. That's okay. I'm easily lost. I'm thick-headed too. So we've been on for about 40 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? I know Jack's trying to get in and out, and he's having trouble getting in. I wonder if the Sams are still in. I don't see who's on the list. I'm sure there's a list of people in here, but I can't see where that is. And I moved it over here on this. Wow, a lot of comments. All right, so Jeff Stearns, my computer keeps freezing. I got a question about the tabernacle. Okay. long as you can type it out. If not, we'll talk later. Now, I'm not an expert on the tabernacle. The gate, I've done hundreds of gates. I've got them set up and down California coast. I've got them at friends' houses. Anna Casper saying, Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, everybody. And happy holidays for those of you that don't celebrate Christmas. So, I got my tree up this year and some lights. I didn't put the outside lights on. Anyhow, our electricity bill was quite holy mackerel last month, so this month I'm trying to keep her down. But the kiln fire is where that really goes. I'm doing a kiln fire right now, so that'll go. Mike Peter, he has a question yet? Okay. Is there a rule of thumb on distance between the stones compared to size of the gate? Is it a good idea? Just read it over, Jordan. And Jeff, is there a distance between? Well, it depends on how big of a one you're setting. So it'll give you, if you have the instructions, it'll kind of give you an idea of the distances between them. Because there's this one goes in front of that one, and that one goes in front of this one, sort of thing. And I think it's like a 21 by 10 or something. I don't know. I haven't seen my tabernacle in a while, so I really can't speak on that. I will become more familiar with it so I can speak about it later. But right now, I don't even know what the stones are in the tabernacle. I know that they open up a really cool tabernacle, and you put the gate in it also. So that's where you, yeah. That's all right, Jeff. I don't know how to answer your question. There's no way I could put it on my ceiling. You don't want to leave the tabernacle up. You don't leave the tabernacle up. Unlike the Gate of Grace, the tabernacle is used for processes only. It doesn't make sense to leave the tabernacle up. When Joe got the information about the tabernacle, he was talking about leaving it up at his place, and they told him, don't do that. So don't leave your tabernacle up. When you set it up, you use it. Then you take it down. So don't worry about it going on your ceiling. There's no instructions on how to do that. Watch the replay because there's no answer. Let's see if I can comment in here. So there you go. I don't have an answer. Wow, I could type on this thing. So, anywho, all right. So, anything other than the tabernacle? Let's play Stump Dave again. I just really haven't learned too much about it. If I remember right, it's about 3 feet between the stones, but as far as a general rule, no, there is no general rule. I don't use the other one on account of that. It's kind of mean to women type of thing. As long as the tabernacle is in proportion to itself and the gate fits in it, you're good. Yeah. As far as I know, yes. That I do know. Yes. Size does not matter. It's a matter of how much space you got, and here's where you get to work with what you got. Some folks don't have a tabernacle. Some folks do have a tabernacle. Some folks are going to have to order one. I don't know if I have them on my website. I should probably put them up on there because I know I have them available. They're, pretty easy. Yeah. Okay, Jeff Stern says the instructions just say the stones should be equal distances apart and entrance will be a third of that. So I did the yes, exactly, Jeff. So whatever size you're working with. We made a tabernacle the size of one of the formations one time. So It can be small or it can be large. So, you know, um, Jeff says he froze again. Okay, so Cindy Parfit says, I did the 7 names of God before I went into the DAW. Awesome results. Cool. Glad. Tune yourself. Do the 7 names. You know, it's like this, okay? All of this work is an inward journey. You're working on yourself so you can be there for other people that'll be working on themselves. And we're coming up on a time where it's important for us to really dig in and do some stuff. Yes, do the 7 names of God before you go into the DAW. Sure, it's perfect. You're working with divine creation. It's okay to use divine tools. It's not going to get you into the DAW, but it will help you. Just doing the 7 names of God by themselves is pretty cool, man. I mean, it really does open up a space in your house. I was having a hard time yesterday, and I think it was yesterday, and I just started singing the 7 names of God, and I got in a better mood. I was all ticked off about something stupid, and I just thought to myself, start singing the 7 names of God, and guess what? I forgot what was stupid, and mood got better. So, you know, we could choose to be in a bad mood, we could choose to be the victim, or we could choose to be the victor. Living in the past and living in the future, you're going to have depression and anxiety. If you live in the now, right here, right now, that's what you're being led to know, is that's where you live, is right here and right now. You're not your past, and you are not the future. You're not your possessions. You are a child of God. You're perfect, whole, and complete just the way you are. We're learning that. We're learning a lot more about that at this time. It's pretty crazy, the things we're learning. Well, we're in the age of Aquarius. It is time for us to stand up and start being the gifts we are to the world. The pouring of knowledge on our planet is no small thing, and that's what we've gotten over the last 23 years from Michael, is lots of knowledge on how to heal yourself. The ones that have been following those things are having a good time with it. The ones that aren't really following it, they're having more difficult times. It is your sister. Can you please bring your I am and stuff? Oh, yeah, my sister-in-law wants me to bring the I am clearing. Yes, I'll have my box with me. I'll bring the stuff. By the way, anybody can use the I am incense now. We've reached critical mass to where people that have been gathered and people that it used to be only masters that have gathered could use this oil. Now it's anybody, but it still cannot be touched or smelled. It's incense that's a gift to God and to be shown with respect, and it's like $85 a milliliter, so don't mess around with this stuff. It ain't cheap. It is an incense. Yes, the I am sacred I am oil. You use it for a house clearing. In 2003, there is a house clearing. It's called A Call to Michael. The one and only time Joe called Michael is when things were kind of getting weird, and people were having arguments, and people knew what they were doing, and all that other stuff, so we needed a clearing. And it's in the visits March 2003. So look it up. It'll give you some good insight. The visits are very good for you to refresh your mind with, because there are times where you'll read a visit and think you get it all, but you don't, because you're excited about what they're bringing, and you missed on something else, or they got interrupted, because Joe's good at interrupting them and having his conversation before. Yeah, don't spill the stuff either. It's messy. Yeah, well, then you got to wash. If you get it on you, you got to wash with dirt that is dry, dirt that is moist, and dirt that is wet, and then wash it off with holy water. So it's kind of a process to get it off your skin, and if you don't do it, you're going to have some issues that you're not really going to like. So, yeah, burning the charcoal I am oil incense burning. Yes, it is an incense and a gift to God. It's not an essential oil to put on your skin. It's not for you. You're not to smell it. You're going to smell what it smells like, but it's not for you. So anyhow,
Joseph Interpretus. Burning charcoal plus IM oil equal incense burning. Joseph Interpretus.
Oh, that's how Joe told you. Okay, cool. Well, we've reached the 7 o'clock time. And I'm having people text me that know that shouldn't be texting me. I hope they didn't knock us offline. So, anyhow, if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, and we'll be back on, pretty sure, the 27th, which is next week, 2 days after Christmas, which is fine. You guys will be all fat and happy.
Oops, I did this.
Oh, well, don't worry about it, honey. She smelled it a little bit. Don't worry about it. It's not a perfume, though. Don't use it like perfume, you know. And of course, people are gonna peek under the sheet, right? You know. So next week we'll be doing this at 6 o'clock on December 27th. Oh, Jordan Rupp is just messing with us. I like it. That's cute. Oh, happy solstice to everybody. Solstice joy to everyone. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy whatever works for you. We'll be meeting back here at 6 o'clock if I don't get stuck at the thrift store again. Next Thursday, December 27th. Same gathering time. Same gathering channel. And as always, my blessings, my gifts, and my deeds are of you. Bless your heart.